What you see here is tons, literally tons of fingers, tons of them. Lots of silos, lots of capabilities, but nobody's pulling it all together. And the power is in pulling it together.
The global population in the next 5 decades is likely to crest 10 billion people. It's quite a bit of people to cohabitate, right? Food, calories, fibers, forests, agricultural products, animal products. Effectively, all the things that our planetary land uses are going to become fairly constrained if we don't make some efficient leaps forward. Unfortunately, we're seeing a decline in these forest systems. So over the last 20 years, as a relative unit of measure, we've seen a 12% decline in that surface area. And that has released 200 gigatons of carbon into the atmosphere. And a lot of other consequences come with that.
Nature scales through networks, and it's a key element. Distributed systems, decentralized models, feedback loops. Nature's had 3.8 billion years to perfect things, and maybe it's time we took a look at it. It starts with possibilities. Everything starts with a possibility. If, again, we look around our biosphere that we live in, it's almost infinite in the number of possibilities that are there.
We were trying to figure out what is the best way to design a locomotion mechanism that consumes the least amount of energy in order to move. And you find out that jellyfish is the best out of all organisms.
And this is the oldest idea in human history, right? I mean, humans survived for 95% of our time as a species living biomimetically, leaving no trace, building what we needed from the materials at hand, feeding ourselves, doing everything ourselves.
I'm going to talk about this concept of the human verse, uniting business around nature and people as a universal corporate value. We are holistic beings. We aren't just consumers. People aren't empty shopping carts. They care actually about the human condition, and they care about the climate. So we believe it's possible for business to solve these grandest problems, these grandest challenges.
As we look towards the future, we know we have a huge sense of responsibility. So we own this end-to-end brand and product creation process.
If you take human intelligence and you orchestrate, work with the AI in and out, you begin to see things you didn't see before. And what pulled me back onto the table with this whole field was the fact that it showed a gap. And the gap was silo after silo after silo after silo. One of the biggest paths that we have to solving those exponential problems and sustainability is biomimetics.
So the plan is to move that work forward. I'm the new dean of the College of Design. Sarah DeWalt is the brand new dean of the College of Biological Sciences. And both of us have actually met to try and figure out how do we move this thing forward. So this work will proceed forward. And with this of the impetus that Biomimetics International has put forth.
Minnesota has an interesting capability in that it has an interesting combination of resources that don't exist in the similar concentration anywhere on the planet. We have high concentration of bioscientists, medical device, thriving biosector. We also have kind of the natural environment.
We have about 1,000 biologists on this campus, which may be, as we think, maybe the largest concentration of biologists anywhere.
You're not going to get there fast enough if you try to build something big to ram into that curve. It won't happen. You have to do it with little things and do them fast. So we learn how to do regenerative ag here, and then you got to convince the next farmer and the next farmer.
We've got to build on the flywheel. So I would capitalize on successes to date, and that will accelerate further investment. If there are early successes in biomimicry, publish the data, publish the returns, let's get some capital together and show returns.
The first ask should be something that they can simply say yes to. Because once you start in negotiations, someone saying yes, it's likely that in number 2, they're gonna probably nod and say yes to. So I'm not gonna go in asking the big ask.
Connect the dots, connect the networks. You don't have to be the network, just connect the networks and get it to work. We did it in the semiconductor industry, and we did it by having standards, we did it by having communications, we did it by getting everybody in the room that was involved in getting the job done.
I spend a lot of my time thinking about ways to absorb carbon, to minimize plastics in the soil, and to help people understand indigenous wisdom. We weren't just plopped down on this planet and told, like, go take whatever you can, pillage whatever you can. The earth produced us. And that is an epiphany for a lot of humanity.
Is this going to last 7 generations? Is this going to have a return for 7 generations? In the 7th generation, what will they be facing? So what I would ask you to do is there's the QR code. Just ask us. Join. Become a member. Get your company to be a member. And together, let's shape the future.